Praza, you said you'd let me handle this. Wait, Shepard?
I'm not taking any chances with Cerberus operatives.
Put those weapons down!
You know me the best, you know my words, see me hurt, but you don't.
Remember when I gave you that gas data sample?
Right there is the
Did it help you complete the pilgrimage?
From those gas control nodes. The information you uploaded to
opening
Alliance
and
Control.
closing up
I want
again.
copies
I've been
of it.
hurt, so I don't trust. Now here we are staring
My
at the
people,
ceiling.
I've
said those words before, but it was a lie.
The only thing I can offer in return is
Deserve
what
to
you already
hear
have.
it in a
My
thousand
solemn promise
times.
to stay with you
For all it is,
until
say that it's
Just
why is
don't
it so
worry, it's
hard
nothing
to
serious.
say?
God's love.
If all it is to say that it's why am I in my own way?
We are in our suits.
Why do I pull you close and then ask you for space? If all it is to say that is why is it so hard to say?
How much space? Walls are stone. It's amazing. I wish my friends could see it.
Isn't it amazing? How almost every line on our hands align. When your hands are mine, it's like I'm whole again. Isn't that a sign? I should speak my mind. I've said those words before, but it was a lie.
You have a planet to go back
Deserve
to.
to hear it 1,000 times. For all it is to say that why is it so hard to say?
Don't need.
If all it is
I
to
don't
say
wear a
that
helmet in
why
my
am
own
I?
home. I die.
own
A
way?
single kiss could put me in the
Why
hospital.
do I pull you close and then ask you for space?
Who just see the
All
helmet
it is
when
to
I
say
crash
that
into
is
have
why
to
is it so hard to say?
feel it.
When I close my eyes, it's you there in my mind. When I close my eyes, if all it is a letters, why is it so hard to say? If all it is a letters, why am I in my own way? Why do I pull you close and then ask you for space? If all it is a letters, why is it so hard to say? If all it is to say that when I close my eyes, it's you there, it's only you. When I close my eyes, if all it is to say that when I close my eyes, it's you there, in my mind. When I close my eyes, if all it is to say that.
Tali and her team were sitting in one of the metal prefab buildings on Freedom's Progress. Outside, the cold wind howled and snow gently fell from the sky. The only other time Tali had experienced weather like this was when she was part of Commander Shepard's squad on Noveria over 2 years ago. That was her first experience with winter weather, and it had made a bad first impression. Freedom's Progress wasn't nearly as bad, but Tali still wasn't a fan of the snow. If I'm ever able to live on Rannoch, I'm living someplace warm, she decided. Tali was typing away on her Omni tool, writing detailed notes of what the research team had found. Their findings were puzzling to say the least. It appeared as if all the colonists had simply vanished. There were no signs of a battle, the security mechs were still operational, and food was still sitting on kitchen tables. Other members of the team were searching through a console, looking for any information that might help shed some light on the mystery. Praza, the squad leader of the Quarian Marine Detailed assigned to protect Tali, was constantly checking and rechecking his assault rifle. He had been on edge ever since one of the Marines reported that a Cerberus shuttle had landed on the colony. Tali couldn't stand Praza, he was hot-headed and impulsive. Not exactly qualities a squad leader should embody. Luckily, the Admiralty Board had placed her in command of the research team from the beginning, so it was Tali who was giving orders. She suspected Praza was annoyed by having to follow orders from someone who wasn't a soldier, but so far he had been compliant. All of a sudden, the door to the prefab opened up and 3 humans with guns burst into the room. 2 of them had the distinctive Cerberus logo on their uniforms, These were the Cerberus operatives that had landed in the colony. Praza sprang up immediately and started walking slowly towards the humans, his rifle aimed at the one closest to him. He hadn't forgotten about when Cerberus attacked the migrant fleet 2 years ago, and was ready to take revenge if any of these operatives stepped out of line. The rest of the research team followed close behind him.
Stop right there!
Praza ordered. Tali, wishing to avoid an unnecessary firefight, jumped in between the Quarians and humans. Praza, you Bashtet. She yelled internally.
Praza, you said you'd let me handle this.
She said sternly as she pushed his rifle aside. She turned to face the Cerberus operatives. The nearest human lowered his rifle and stepped out of the shadows. The N7 logo on his combat armor gleamed in the light. When Tali recognized who stood before her, she was in complete shock. Keela, he's alive? She thought incredulously.
Wait, Shepard?
She questioned. Is that Tali? Shepard thought. Oh my God, she looks so different. It had been more than 2 years since he last saw her, but in his mind, it had only been a few days. Shepard remembered Tali as a young woman on her pilgrimage, but the Tali that was in front of him was a confident, mature woman. He couldn't believe how much she'd changed for the better, and was impressed with how she had grown up. Shepard was overjoyed to see her alive and well, and was about to tell her how happy he was to see her. After all, she was the first old Normandy crew member he had seen since being resurrected. There was something more, however. He felt as if he almost wanted to kiss her. Why was he feeling like this? Shepard knew he and Tali were close, and he considered her a great friend, but he'd never felt about her this way before. Something about seeing this strong, confident, mature woman brought up some strange feelings in him.
I'm not taking any chances with Cerberus operatives.
Praza yelled, his weapon trained on Shepard again. Tali was close to punching Praza.
Put those weapons down!
She ordered. Tali needed to process what she had just discovered, and Praza's overly aggressive attitude wasn't helping. He reluctantly obeyed, and she turned back to Shepard.
Shepard? Is that...
She was struggling to hold
You're
back tears.
alive?
It took every fiber in her being to stop herself from completely breaking down. The man whom she so greatly respected and admired, who had been tragically ripped away from her 2 years prior, was now standing right in front of her. Is this real? Am I dreaming? Tali wondered. She remembered the dream she had the night before, and prayed to the ancestors she wasn't dreaming. Then all her romantic feelings towards Shepard returned. Please be real, oh Keela, please be real, Tali pleaded. Shepard couldn't help but smile at what he saw from Tali. The young woman he remembered would have been too nervous to stand up to others, but the woman he was seeing now had enough confidence to persuade a Quarian Marine to stand down. He could sense the doubt in Tali's voice when she talked. He wanted to hug her, tell her that it really was Shepard she saw. He had to prove he was real, and knew just what to say.
Remember when I gave you that Geth data tally? Did it help you complete your pilgrimage?
He asked thoughtfully. Nobody but Shepard and Tali knew about him giving her the Geth data. When Tali returned from her pilgrimage to the migrant fleet, she never mentioned that it had been Shepard who gave her the data. Cerberus couldn't have implanted that memory in a clone. This was the real Commander Shepard. It really is him. Tali thought excitedly.
Yes, it did.
She replied warmly. She wanted to hug him, pour out all her feelings for him, but she knew this wasn't the time or place. Tali turned to her Quarian colleagues, who were just as surprised as she was to see the supposedly deceased Commander Shepard alive.
Praza, weapons down! This is definitely Commander Shepard.
She assured her team. Praza wasn't so sure.
Why is your old commander working for Cerberus?
Tali answered condescendingly.
I don't know. Maybe we should ask.
I nearly died, Tally. Cerberus spent 2 years rebuilding me. They want me to investigate attacks on human colonies.
Shepard clarified. He assured Tali he wasn't working for them, they were just working together to accomplish an objective. Shepard knew the anti-alien reputation Cerberus had, and he wanted to make sure Tali knew he didn't subscribe to that ideology. After all, he had recruited Gurus, Liara, Rex, and herself to help him stop Saren. She believed him, he had never displayed any hate or resentment towards her, only kindness and respect. She was glad to see that sentiment hadn't been lost when he died.
Perhaps we can work together.
Tali suggested.
We're here looking for a young Quarian named Vitor. He was here on pilgrimage.
Shepard agreed.
Vitor's the only one who can tell us what happened here. We should work together to find.
He was relieved to finally have a lead on what happened on Freedom's Progress. Shepard, Miranda, and Jacob were just as confused as the Quarians when they arrived.
Now we're working with Cerberus?
Praza asked coldly. Tali had had enough of him, and finally snapped.
No, Praza, you're working for me. If you can't follow orders, go wait on the ship.
She told him sternly. Shepard smirked, he thought Tali was handling this idiot very well. The plan of attack was the humans and Quarians would advance to the central warehouse in 2 teams.
Make sure to keep in radio contact.
Shepard said happily. Tali was glad to be working with Shepard again.
Will do. Good luck, Shepard. Whatever happens, it's good to have you back.
Tali wished she could have said more, expressed just how elated she was to see Shepard alive. Her team had already began to move out, so what she said would have to do for now. The route to the central warehouse had been fairly difficult for Shepard's team, more than a few Loki and Fenris mechs had to be dealt with. The Quarian team had a much easier route, and planned on regrouping with Shepard at the cargo docks. However, Praza saw an opportunity too good to pass up. If the research team got to Vitor first, he theorized, they could get him off the colony without having to deal with Cerberus. He didn't care how highly Tali had spoken of Commander Shepard. He was still with Cerberus, and therefore, a threat. Miss Zora, if we push to the warehouse now we can extract Vitor without letting Cerberus get involved, he said to Tali. No, Praza, we're helping Shepard, not Cerberus, she replied, slightly annoyed. The plan is to regroup and push to the warehouse together, and we're sticking to it. Praza had finally had enough of taking orders from Tali. You'd betray your own people by working with Cerberus just because you have a crush on Shepard. How dare that Boshtet accuse me of betraying my people, she thought. We're done listening to you. Praza turned to the rest of the team. Come on, squad, push forward. Before Tali could protest, the Quarian Marines had run off towards the warehouse. Shepard was taking cover behind a crate when he heard Tali's voice on the radio.
Shepard, Praza and his squad rushed on ahead. I told them to wait, but they wouldn't listen.
The anger in her voice was evident.
They want to find Vitor and take him away before you get here.
Shepard responded, thanks for the heads up, Tali. You did what you could. I hope she doesn't blame herself, that guy sounded like a jackass. Shepard popped out from behind cover and unloaded a burst from his assault rifle into the last mech in the area. It crumpled in a heap to the ground.
We should have expected this,
Miranda said in her usual cold manner. Her personality was going to take some getting used to. You don't know Tali like I do, she would never betray me, Shepard shot back. The squad could see the cargo bay doors in the distance, but a half-dozen security drones blocked their path. These things just keep coming, Shepard thought. Tali had reached the cargo bay, and was pacing back and forth. She was ready to open the doors when Shepard gave the word, but right now her mind was racing. How could Praza override me like that? Who does he think he is? When this is over. Her inner rant was interrupted by the sounds of gunfire and screaming. She could see the open door to the warehouse on the other side of the cargo bay. That's where the sounds were coming from. All of a sudden the Clarion Marines came running out of the warehouse, a huge Emer mech right behind them. The mech took out half the squad, Praza included, with one long burst from its machine gun. It turned its attention to the Marines still fleeing, and easily took them out with a few rockets. Tali took cover behind the nearest crate, and quickly radioed Shepard.
Sorry, Shepard.
She yelled.
Vitor reprogrammed the heavy mech. It's tearing Praza's squad apart.
The thought of Tali being in imminent danger awoke something deep inside of Shepard. He leapt over the crate he had previously been crouched behind, and took off sprinting towards the bay doors. Bullets from his rifle tore apart the remaining drones. He never broke his stride. Shepard radioed in, Tali, we're clear, open the doors. Before the doors had opened halfway, Shepard slid underneath them and located Tali. He rushed over to her position, and took cover just as the mech noticed him. Tali, are you alright? Are you hurt? Shepard asked urgently. I'm fine, Shepard, Tali said reassuringly. Praza's squad are all dead. I'm sorry you lost them, but right now we have to take care of that mech, Shepard said. He knew how hard it was to lose people under his command, but right now they had to stay focused on the rapidly advancing mech. Right, she agreed, I'll override its shields and we can take it down together. Miranda and Jacob rushed into the cargo bay, and took cover nearby. Tali peered around the crate and brought up her Omni tool. Within moments, the Emer's shields were down. Bullets whizzed past her head as she ducked back in cover. Seeing Tali survive a close call like that awoke that same feeling inside Shepard again. He instinctively tossed a grenade towards the mech, which exploded by its feet. As the Emer staggered, Shepard hopped over the crate and unleashed a torrent of bullets as he ran towards it. Tali, Miranda, and Jacob all opened fire too. The mech couldn't withstand the hail of bullets, and exploded in a dazzling display. The squad then moved into the warehouse, finding Vitor inside. They learned that the humans had been abducted by collectors, a mysterious and usually seldomly seen race of aliens. Vitor had managed to piece together surveillance video of the attack and recorded electromagnetic and dark energy readings with his Omni tool. Which was impressive considering the mental state he was in. He was obviously in shock, and was barely able to put together a cohesive thought. The issue of what to do with Vitor was raised. Miranda wanted to bring Vitor back to the Cerberus outpost for interrogation. Tali would have none of it.
What? Vitor is injured. He needs treatment, not an interrogation.
Jacob replied.
We won't hurt him. We just need to see if he knows anything else.
Shepard raised his hand to cut him off. Tali wouldn't betray me, and I definitely won't betray her.
He's traumatized and he needs medical care.
He turned to Tali. Tali, take Vitor back to the migrant fleet.
Thank you, Shepard.
Tali said, relieved.
I'm glad you're still the one giving the orders. You're welcome to take Vitor's Omnitool data.
Miranda and Jacob, go wait in the shuttle, he ordered his Cerberus colleagues. I'll help Tali with Vitor. After they got Vitor secured in the shuttle, Shepard pulled Tali aside.
You don't have to take Vitor and go. We could work together, just like old times.
Shepard said optimistically. Tali looked towards the ground, then back at him.
I want to, but I can't.
The smile disappeared from Shepard's face.
I've got a mission of my own. It's too important for me to abandon, even for you.
She continued sadly.
When it's over, and I'm still alive, we'll see what happens.
If she's still alive? Shepard didn't like the sound of that.
That sounds dangerous.
The worry in his voice was clear.
What are you doing?
I don't think Cerberus needs to hear about it.
Tali answered.
But it's in Geth space. That should tell you how important it is.
I understand, Tali, Shepard said. You've always been devoted to your people. That's one of the many things I really admire about you. He mustered a smile, despite his sorrow that she wasn't coming with him. Wait, one of the many things? As in there's more? Tali's heart fluttered. Thank you, Shepard, she said sincerely. Good luck out there, Tali, Shepard said. I hope to see you soon. He began to turn and walk away. Keela, Tali thought, this might be the last time you see him. Tell him how you really feel about him. Shepard, wait. Tali called out. He quickly turned back around. She paused. Good luck to you too. That's it? That's all you can say to him? Tali was just too nervous to express her feelings. Shepard smiled warmly, however, and wrapped his arms around Tali in a hug. Tali was surprised. He had never hugged her before, but she wasted no time in hugging him back tightly. Tears began to well up in her eyes. This might be the only chance she got to hold Shepard close. They reluctantly separated. Stay safe, Tali. For me, Shepard pleaded. I will, and you do the same, she pleaded back. Save me a spot on the team for when my mission is over. Shepard laughed softly and waved goodbye as Tali stepped in the shuttle and closed the door. They both hoped this wouldn't be the last time they saw each other alive.